Hello, this is Mama Jess. So I oftentimes hear from the young people that everything is too expensive and they're never going to be able to own anything, especially property or a home. They're despondent because they can't find jobs that pay enough. And I don't know exactly what they're referring to as far as pay enough for what, because oftentimes the young people want to travel, they want to have a new car, they want to upgrade everything all the time, they want to have all of the electronic gadgets. The women want to have their hair done regularly, nails done, expensive makeup, body care products, fancy clothing, lots of shoes, too many shoes in your closet. And so I'm not certain if they're really struggling financially, or they just have very bad habits of being wasteful and not frugal. But either way, whether they really are buried in the cost of living and if everything is too expensive, and I hear this from everybody. But again, when I look at their lives, I see that they squander a lot of time. They waste time watching television, watching movies, and there's just an enormous amount of squandering of money and time. And I want to tell you the other way to live. It's the life that I have created, where your currency is not dollars and cents. And yes, we do need a certain amount of cash. But in my world that I have created, that I have sought after, my currency is skills and character. Any opportunity I have to improve on my skill set, I do it. Whether I'm studying alone, whether I'm tackling something I've never done before, whether I have an opportunity to watch someone work and ask them questions. I was just at the mechanics and I was inquiring about CV axle. Have they ever worked on a Subaru CV axle? Because I will need to be undertaking that soon. I've got a CV axle problem. And so I utilize that time rather than scrolling through my phone in a world of nonsense and entertainment. I actively utilize that time to gain more knowledge, to improve upon my skills. And what I have found over the years, everywhere I go, if I'm looking for housing, if I'm looking for work, people accept me. I get the housing I want and I get the job that I want. Because people are looking for skilled people, or people who are actively willing and eager to learn. And in addition to that, character. I don't know if many of you even know what that is, because it seems that we're trained in this country to be selfish and do whatever you want and show up when you want and be late when you want and have certain chronological sensitivities where you just can't show up on time, and it's like some kind of disorder now. But character is built into your habits. It's built into how you treat people. One of the most important aspects of character is that you're true to your word. That if you say you're going to show up, you show up. If you say you're going to show up at a certain time, you show up at that time. Also, the ability to be trustworthy. Can I trust you to do what you say, or to finish the job, to show up on time, to tell me the truth about whatever it might be? So I really want you to understand that if you're feeling overwhelmed, that, I can't find work that's going to pay the bills, that everything is too expensive, there are other ways to live. There are other ways to get housing rather than spend $2,500 on a 2-bedroom apartment or whatever it might be. There are people out there willing to employ and or house people with character and skills. So I know there are a lot of excuses. But again, if you have both of those, you are very wealthy, even in the California economy. Because sadly, so many people have no skills. They're generally useless. They don't know how to upkeep the place in which they live. Generally, when I go somewhere and I live somewhere, I leave it better than when I showed up. Whether it's cleanliness or wanting to work on something, to improve upon it, fix something. And people want people around like that. And so few people have good character. People are not reliable. They're not responsible. They say they're going to show up to work. They never show up, or they show up and leave early, or they're not honest with their time. They squander their time. They squander their money. And people don't want to be around people like that. At least successful people, upstanding people. So this is a quick message from Mama Jess. I don't want you to despair over the cost of living or the economy anymore. I don't want you to fall into that trap of the world and that money kingdom that people live in, thinking the only way to live is generate so much money for everything that we need, because that is not the only way to live. You have to be extremely disciplined. You have to be extremely disciplined, responsible, committed. You have to show up every day. You have to prove yourself. And when you develop that kind of skill and character currency, you will not have to despair over what the economy is doing, because there are always these little underground tunnels created, ways to live that have nothing to do with cash. Of course, it's wise to get into a situation where you are generating a certain stipend for your time, because we need to buy gas. We need to do things that require money. But you'd be surprised, you can even do exchange for gas cards and food cards if your employer or if your landlord is cool like that. So yeah, I just want you to know that there's other ways to live. And that's what I have been doing for many years, and that's why I have been able to be a young widow with no debt and always in a nice place with people who will give me the key to their house. Like, I trust you. You can take care of it. You're highly responsible. I can count on you to take care of everything. And that is what I want you to grow into. So we're here getting skills, and we're here getting character. And you will be stable and secure and set. And you won't have to live in fear. And you won't have to live in the grind and the hustle to generate way too much cash, because everything is so inflated. But what will always have value is the currency of real, substantial, useful skills and very good moral character. All right. I'll talk with you soon.